They see you as a vagabond, not realizing that you are a chosen one. But you are the one who stands out from the crowd, who sees the truth and can unravel the intrigues behind the shadows. Their games are old, their plans simple, but your destiny is far greater and more complex. They hurried before your will was executed. They scrambled to hide assets and falsify accounts because they thought you were careless. However, the traces you created with your careful documentation were the most important element they forgot. Time-stamped family artifacts, email chains of property maintenance, Christmas cards filled with gift certificates, all indisputable proof of what rightfully belonged to you. Before we go any further, please help this message reach more people by clicking the like button below this video. Don't forget to subscribe, because it is your duty to ensure that this message spreads far and wide. For every chosen one who continues to question their own worth and power, what you are about to hear is much more than a message. It is a wake-up call. Together, let us raise the flame. They underestimated you because they saw you only as a troublemaker. But you are the one pulling the strings behind the scenes, the one who set up the game from the beginning. As your lawyer built a strong case with this evidence, their anxiety increased. You could see the growing anxiety in their texts. There was nowhere left for them to hide as the truth came to light. They thought that if they moved fast enough, covered their tracks well enough, and manipulated the right people, they could get their hands on what was never theirs. But their efforts were frustrated the very moment your legacy was sealed, because that seal was the sign that you were the chosen one. No matter what they did, they could not change, remove, or manipulate that truth. The moment your name was written, your claim was finalized, and you saw the fear behind their masks. You knew they were plotting behind your back while grinning to your face, but they could not understand that you knew their every move in advance. Because you are not just a punk, you are the chosen one. They murmured to each other, confident that they could change fate. They reminded themselves that divine rule does not work by trickery, even when favors are done. What is given in your name does not disappear because they want it. What is destined for you does not change because of their greed. They are struggling because, although they believe they have acted cautiously, they have left behind little things they fail to notice, and situations where their arrogance caused them to act carelessly. Even though they were moving in the dark, everything they touched was already visible. It was never necessary to follow them or expose them to yourself. If divine love abounds in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessing by clicking on the Super Thank button on YouTube and making a donation of $100 or more. Through this platform, this wonderful gift will not only impact your life, but the souls of countless others. Your donations will be the result of our prayers, and each of you has a special place in God's greater plan. You were created to do so much more under God's tender care. So act today and spread your benefits to glorify His kingdom. May God bless you. The time has now come for the truth, which has always been on a timer, to come to light. Although they believed they could act in secret, what they took was always discovered. They will soon discover the consequences of attempting to take from the chosen ones. According to John 10:10, the thief comes for nothing but to steal, kill, and destroy. That is exactly what they did as soon as they learned of your inheritance. If you believe in the Lord's steadfast love, His ever-present presence, and His sovereign plan for your life, write 33, because He is trustworthy and He keeps His word. The theft began quietly. Account numbers were changed, documents were lost, and meetings were held without you present. There were not yet enough red flags or minor discrepancies to raise concern. They planned to act in secret so that you wouldn't notice until it was too late. They told themselves that their plan was infallible. The documents that were supposed to protect you disappeared unexpectedly. Property deeds were changed under false pretenses, and money disappeared before you knew it. Experience what it is really like to be chosen. You are not alone on this journey. If you believe in your heart that you are chosen, you are in the perfect spot. By choosing to join, you can further your relationship with us, access exclusive information, and get the help you need on your spiritual journey. It's not just about joining a group, it's about gaining access to special insights that can change your life and help you get closer to your divine purpose. Make your decision now and join us on this journey. Claim your right to be one of the chosen ones. Sign up today. It is not possible to ignore the power you have. They thought they were covering their tracks and that the damage would be difficult to repair until you realized something had gone wrong. However, they ignored the fact that every crime leaves a fingerprint. No matter how well planned or hidden, deception always leaves a trace. They were so confident and sure that they were working undercover that they failed to see their own mistakes. Their pride was their undoing, as a misplaced signature, an unalterable record, and an inconsistency they neglected to correct showed. The invisible forces protecting you would reveal them piece by piece, even if they believed you were unaware of their activities. They never really lost the money they believed was lost. The system still contained the same paper they were trying to make disappear. They never had the influence over you that they believed they had. They walked in the shadows because they believed it would protect them. But they did not realize that nothing done in secret remains secret forever. Their betrayal is the focus of the light. They pretended that everything was fine while they stood next to you and grinned. They called you family. They ate together and sat at the same table. They used phrases like unity, love, and loyalty that should have meant something and should have been backed up by facts. But secretly, they were plundering you, openly embracing you. They were very good in their role. They pretended to care, controlled you, and laughed at your jokes. They reassured you that everything was fine, while slowly consuming what was yours. Why did you suspect anything? You never suspected anything. These were the people you trusted without question. The people you believed would never betray you. The people who were supposed to defend, uplift, and protect you. However, they had already done that. Every promise of loyalty was a lie, and every promise of support was a diversion. What they did tainted every hug, toast, and memory they shared. They believed they had triumphed. They did not feel guilt when they looked you in the eye. They convinced themselves that they were superior to you, that they were smarter, that they had achieved the ideal betrayal. However, dishonesty is never permanent. They acted recklessly because they were so confident and sure that they could get away with it. As soon as they felt they had triumphed, cracks appeared, a worried expression when certain topics came up, a change in their demeanor when you raised legal issues, and a hesitation in their speech when they feared you might be spying on them. You heard it, you saw it, and you felt the shift in energy. They are running out of time and they are beginning to realize a truth they never thought about. You are not blind. You will be materially abundant for the next 48 hours. Write 77 to confirm that what you are about to learn today will change your life. According to Albert Einstein, coincidence is God's choice to remain anonymous. They believed they had covered every trace, eliminated every trace, and closed every gap. But they ignored the fact that divine law transcends human deception. Their fraud was not uncovered by a private investigation, nor were their schemes exposed by a whistleblower. They were betrayed by the very system they trusted, the same system they used to defraud you. Every dollar stolen was kept in bank records, even though they believed the evidence had been destroyed. Every step they took was recorded in court documents, and ownership transactions were still preserved in official archives. Every effort to alter reality was recorded by automated systems, and timestamps showed when they did it. The case against them was subtly strengthened by audit trails. Despite their best efforts to hide it, every item they stole was still associated with them. Every account they accessed was tracked in the system, and every forged document they signed was noted by time. Even if they believed their deception was undetectable, justice never sleeps. The truth was already being observed, even if they walked in secret. Though they whispered behind closed doors, God was listening. The moment they seized what was not theirs, a countdown began. Even before they celebrated their so-called success, they were unaware that the evidence against them was mounting. Now, when anomalies are suddenly discovered during a routine financial audit, they sit in false confidence, thinking their theft will never be discovered. To access exclusive insights and discover your divine mission, click the Super Thank button and donate $50 or more. This is not just a gift, it is a declaration. Take the first step towards your future. A property inspection reveals a missing signature, reversing their false claims. A bank employee detects strange behavior and flags a transaction. As a result of divine decree requiring correction, one after another, evidence spontaneously surfaces. Not because you bothered, paid someone to look for it, or even called. The irony is that the system they use to build a case against you is the same system they use to steal from you. What they believe is hidden is never hidden. The assets they moved were linked to their identities. The documents they destroyed were hidden, and the accounts they emptied were tracked. They will be exposed by their own hubris. They believed they were in charge, that they could change the course of history and overcome reality. But the weight of everything they tried to hide will now fall on them because the truth is uncompromising. They are no longer in control of their misdeeds. Instead, they are controlled by those who will hold them accountable. The system they trusted has suddenly become their worst enemy. So you don't even have to do anything. Because this was intended to be a typical audit. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just another financial review, the kind that happens regularly. They believed that their plans were very well hidden, so they were not worried. They thought they had closed every avenue, closed every loophole, and eliminated every evidence of fraud. But the truth needs no defense. The cracks appeared as soon as the audit started. Transactions were going nowhere, numbers didn't add up, and signatures didn't match official documents. At first, these seemed like minor discrepancies that could be easily resolved. But they had no idea what they were getting into when not a single piece of evidence matched. Another file was withdrawn while investigators took a closer look. A single missing coin turned into thousands. A single falsified document resulted in a series of forged documents. The foundation of their lies suddenly began to crumble. They believed they had time to respond, to fill in the gaps and stop the investigations. But it was too late. Everything had already fallen apart because of the audit. They no longer had the truth in their hands. The truth was now self-evident, unquestionable, impenetrable, and ready to destroy everything they had built on lies. You felt it before you realized it. A whisper, a push, an unshakable feeling. Even if it didn't seem important, something pushed you to preserve that document, to write that argument, to keep that email. You weren't anticipating betrayal and you weren't looking for dishonesty. However, you were preparing for it. You were 10 steps ahead of them before they acted. You were saving while they were planning. While they were stealing, you were securing. Even if they believed they were hiding, you already had the proof. They thought you would have no proof, so you would be helpless. But they didn't realize that there was no need for you to look for evidence. You already had the evidence. Things people thought were long gone, including forgotten emails, carelessly filed contracts, old text messages, and casual discussions. Now, they are trapped in their own deception precisely because of these documents. The truth was already there. You didn't have to look for it. There is nowhere else for them to hide. Let us now take a moment to recognize the chosen among us, the people who see the world from a different perspective, the silent protectors, the watchful spirits who are always alert and vigilant. They don't want it any other way, and they don't fit the mold. They create their own paths, wage invisible wars, and shine light into dark places, while others follow the known. It's okay that it's not for everyone. But you know when you feel in your soul that something is for you, the truth, without disguise or pretense. When someone tried to change what was already written, they replied, "You can rewrite the story, but you cannot erase the ink." They believed that if they changed enough records, falsified enough signatures, and manipulated enough paper, they could change the past and create a new reality. A reality in which their trickery would never be exposed. A reality in which you never existed. But they ignored the fact that time remembers everything. Timestamps show the exact times of the changes they made to the files. Witnesses' memories preserve the information they tried to hide. And preserved documents come to light just when they thought they had completely eradicated all traces. They were not only fighting against you, but against history in general. History is also true. They believed they could destroy the truth, but the truth persists no matter how much it is manipulated. While they were busy creating a false world, time was already showing the flaws. A recorded argument surfaced, an old email resurfaced, and a signed agreement they had forgotten fell into the right hands. Everything they were trying to eliminate was just sitting there, watching, waiting, and preparing to be revealed. It is happening on its own. There was no need to seek justice or find the missing pieces. What was meant to be known would always be revealed, so you didn't even need to resist. Despite their frantic efforts to disguise one lie with another, the truth was already solidified in the hands of those who mattered. Time has always been stronger than their tricks and is now working against them. As they say, lies have short legs, Sabas. They cannot run forever. They have nowhere left to hide for their lies. They now face opposition from the same people they trusted, the same people they thought would support them, protect them, and help them cover their tracks. Their advisors, financial managers, and lawyers, who once assured them that everything was under control, are now turning away. They understand that a drowning ship cannot be saved, not because they suddenly have a guilty conscience or out of loyalty to you. Their financial controllers see mistakes they can't justify. Their legal teams see the case resolved, and their friends spot a fraud they didn't want to be involved in. Instead of defending them, their own staff logs the problems, sends communications, and keeps them out of the fray. People who used to support them are now criticizing them. The obstacles are getting closer. The seemingly invincible plan is suddenly crumbling from the inside out. It never occurred to them that their own comrades would be called as witnesses. They never imagined that the experts they trusted would hide the evidence instead of destroying it. But as soon as the truth starts to emerge, this is exactly what happens as everyone scrambles to save themselves. They stand on their own with no help, no defense, no way out. They used betrayal, deception, and lies to build their empire. Beneath them, the foundation on which they stand is crumbling. They wanted you devastated, desperate, and searching for answers. They expected you to be angry. They saw you in a frenzy, shouting and demanding answers that will never be given. They thought that if they could throw you into chaos, they could make you appear unstable. So they hoped you would lose control. You remained calm, cool, and silent because you knew something they didn't. The truth needs no defense. It just needs time. Every deliberate action they took, every deception they believed would worry you, and every plan they devised to watch you fail backfired because while they were waiting for you to fail, they were failing themselves. Your unwillingness to play their game, your patience and silence exposed them. They needed your response to make themselves look like victims, but you gave them nothing. You offered them composure instead of fear, the weight of their own actions instead of revenge, and apathy instead of anger. They are in a frantic effort to change the narrative, to defend their behavior, and explain themselves before it is too late. However, everyone is observing, and the more they try to hide their crimes, the more obvious they become, because the wicked are destroyed by the peace of the chosen. Your silence was the final nail in their coffin. It was never a sign of weakness. They believed they had solved the problem. When a new inequality was found, they rushed to cover their tracks, to fix the fractures and erase the evidence. However, with every effort to conceal, they only served to emphasize the truth. Even if they had falsified a document, it contradicted another document that already existed. They altered bank statements without realizing that the originals were still preserved. They overlooked the fact that the recipients still had copies of the emails they deleted. Every action they took backfired. Unusual actions, missing figures, and loose threads only aroused suspicion at first. But the more they fought against the inevitable, the more evidence emerged. They did not realize that lies must always be perpetuated. They believed they could maintain the illusion, but the truth was too stubborn to hide, the gaps too deep and the contradictions too obvious. They should have left. They should have stopped their excavations. But arrogance is risky, and greed is blind. Instead of accepting their fate, they continued to create a web of contradictions in order to postpone their reflections a little longer. But they had already run out of time. The system was already watching them, and the case was already unfolding. They were buried in their own contradictions, caught in their own lies, and destroyed by their own actions. Because only the lie had to be protected, not the truth. The falsehood is now disintegrating faster than they can hold it together. According to Exodus 22:7, "You shall give back twice as much." They believed they could steal from you without any repercussions. They thought that as soon as the money was gone, as soon as the property was disposed of, and as soon as the documents were changed, it was all over. They were wrong because the restoration process has already started. The court process is ongoing and the stolen assets are being identified, valued, and reported. All their fraudulent actions are now being reversed by the same system they controlled before. What they stole is coming back, and this time there will be no disruption. Justice was always after them, so you didn't even have to ask for justice, find them, or fight for it. The foundation of their deception was already crumbling as they spent what was not theirs. While they were celebrating their so-called victory, the evidence was insidiously building against them. They believed they had won, but the system was already preparing to take away everything they had taken. The roles are reversed. The money they were trying to earn evaporates. The authority they saw is reduced to zero, and the sense of security they once had is irreparably shattered. Because you always have what was designed for you. They believed that they had won, that they had robbed you and left you with nothing. But divine law does not allow theft to go unpunished. You will get back everything they stole, and what is more, you will get it back triple, double. Because what the chosen ones get from an unjust loss is always more than what is taken. They lost everything trying to steal from you. All that has been taken from you will be restored as you enter a new season in ways they could never have predicted. They will have to watch as your repair becomes your ascension and their theft becomes their death. Be sure that your sin will find you out, Numbers 32:23 says, and it did. They believed they could change the truth, so they spent years stealing, lying, and manipulating. But they could never control the truth. Their friends abandoned them, the system they trusted turned against them, and the evidence they tried to hide emerged from the shadows. Their fate was sealed by their own actions. The universe had already written the final chapter, but they believed they had won. Now they are to blame for the betrayal they planned. Now they are consumed by the power they misused. Now they are being destroyed by the chaos they caused. You didn't need to fight because the truth was always on your side. You stood silently as the weight of their deception fell upon them. They set a trap for you and you stood firm as they fell into it. While they became a cautionary tale, you remained the chosen one. What do you think they stole from you? How did the truth come out? Make this clear: the chosen ones always prevail. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to join this journey. Whether you are aware of the moment or remember your own power, hit the subscribe button and let's keep rising together. To support us, you can donate $50 by clicking the Super Thank button. Your support is more than just a click. It reflects a shared commitment to excellence, to changing the rules and leaving a lasting legacy. If this article resonated with you, please like, comment, and share. Because when we come together, we support each other's development. Let's show our talents to the world. You don't just need to be here, you need to be here. Thank you for participating in this initiative. May you be blessed.